Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good news stuff for you today. And the first thing that we are going to get into is the losses of the Bitcoin Cash hash war, which is pretty much over at this point. ABC has taken the BCH ticker, which really didn't come as a surprise to many people. And now Bitcoin Cash SV is its own coin, and congratulations, together combined still doesn't equal the cost of the pre-fork Bitcoin Cash. Awesome. Well done. Two groups of people that basically destroyed the price of crypto temporarily. Really speaks volumes. Anyway, so the Bitcoin Cash led to significant losses, either direct or indirect, after the chain branched on November 15th. The mining wars themselves generated crypto assets which cost much less than the mined costs, according to rough estimates. So the direct mining losses are relatively small. I don't know about that. So far, the two camps of Bitcoin Cash have spent $3.25 million to mine $1.9 million of ABC, which is a $1.35 million loss. So they also spent $2.15 million to mine $370,000 of Bitcoin Cash SV, which was a $1.78 million loss. So the combined value of ABC and SV is less than 50% of the value of one Bitcoin Cash pre-fork. So their combined value. So as you can see here, Bitcoin Cash is at $213, and Bitcoin Cash SV is, who knows at this point, $42. So still not quite as much as when Bitcoin Cash was pre-fork on November 15th. So if we can go back to November 15th, let's go to the 1 month here. We were at about $500. So exactly, pretty much less than 50% the value, or 50%, somewhere around there. So adding to this still indefinite losses of the missed opportunities in mining Bitcoin. Perhaps the biggest loss was for traders who suddenly saw assets and tickers enter a period of confusion before the fork. The most dramatic loss of the value happened on OKX, which decided to terminate futures contracts and incurred deep losses. So OKX announced ahead of the fork that the ABC version would be supported. Later, the exchange settled and immediately delivered instead of continued trading. So congratulations, Bitcoin Cash. You've decimated the crypto market. That's pretty great. Awesome. Really good. So next article is just sort of fun. So survey finds that John McAfee is the most influential crypto trading figure. So that's not really much of a surprise, but some of these are actually surprising. So this is a chart here of, influential crypto figures. Now, they didn't add MrSotko on there because it would skew the results so badly. I would have 98% from millennials and Generation X, so they had to get rid of me. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still mentioned at the bottom somewhere. You can't see it, but it's really small text. I'm mentioned in there. Anyway, so millennials prefer John McAfee to 52%. 36% said Justin Wu. 35% said Charlie Lee. Okay, so that's millennials. Now there's Generation X, which is 45% John McAfee, 43% Vitalik Buterin, and Cameron Winklevoss at 43%, which goes way over 100%. So I have no idea how that equates to just 100% of people. That really blows my mind. But it gives you a general idea. But Cameron Winklevoss? Question mark? What? Cameron Winklevoss, really? The most influential figure for Generation X. Well, at least the third most. I don't really know about that. Why not the other Winklevoss? What is the other Winklevoss's name? Why just Cameron? Very confusing. Now, broken down by gender, men, it's in order of the most popular is John McAfee, Vitalik Buterin, Charlie Lee, Justin Wu, and Cameron Winklevoss. Again, Cameron Winklevoss, why? How is he even... Okay, anyway, I digress. Women, the top contender was Christine Liu, and then there's Justin Wu, Bobby Lee, Peter Todd, and then John McAfee on the very bottom. So women apparently don't care for John McAfee. Now Christine Liu, I was like, Christine Liu, who is that? So I went to her Twitter, apparently, and she has 31,000 followers. So congratulations to you. That's way more than me on Twitter. But then the longer you look at her profile, the more confusing the choice of her to be the top. Maybe I have the wrong Christine Liu, but I don't really think so. So you can see here, inspiring morning, volunteering some awesome mentors from Bloom. Okay, great. And then a retweet of The Lion King. Okay. And then a retweet of The Lion King. And then something about Trump. Something about encouraging, that's what God telling him to do. So what does this have to do with crypto at all? I'm so confused. How is she influential? What does this woman do? I didn't even bother to look it up, really. Anyway, moving on to the next article here. Miner goes bankrupt, manufacturers stuck with inventory, and rigs are sold by kilo as scrap. So lots of things are going under here. So I mentioned yesterday about Gigawatt. Gigawatt owes 10 to 50 million. Excuse me, got a little bit of hiccups from my sweet, sweet, tasty Red Bull. 10 to 50 million in outstanding liabilities. They were mining in Washington and accrued some 300,000 from one electricity company, $500,000 in debt to another electricity company, which I have no idea why these electricity companies would actually allow their bill to get so high without being paid. Who knows? I feel like that's like half fault of the electricity companies for being like, hey, you owe us like $50,000. Maybe we should shut off your electricity now, because $50,000. You know, like you'd figure that would stop it way before $300,000 or $500,000. But I don't know. I digress on that one. And Taiwanese manufacturers are stuck with inventory, so weak demand from GPU miners is one of the leading contributing factors to the slump in sales for manufacturers of motherboards and graphics cards such as Asus and Gigabyte. According to reports from Taiwan, the companies are also expect the situation to continue to negatively affect their bottom lines through the first half of 2019. So here's my idea on this, or my thoughts, is that I think these GPU manufacturers got used to higher profits, and now they're back down and they're complaining about them. But before the crypto boom of 2017, although crypto's been around for longer, we can all admit that there was a gigantic boom in 2017 where everybody just bought every single graphics card on the shelves everywhere they possibly could. You couldn't go to a Best Buy and find a single graphics card. You couldn't go into a Fry's Electronics. You couldn't even go on Newegg or Amazon. They were still hard to find. So I think that their profits are actually just like basically pre-2017, like 2016 profits sort of type deal. And now they're complaining about all of the inventory that they got back. But, you know, I think that kind of led to the RTX series as well of NVIDIA, the 20 series, which is just not that great. It's really not that amazing. You know, like, for example, the 2080 Ti hashes Kryptonite at about 900 hash, maybe a mega hash, whereas you know, like a Vega 64 can hash well over 2 kilohash. So, you know, when it comes to certain algorithms, the NVIDIA, the 20X, you know, the 2080 Ti RTX, oh my God, I'm just like stumbling all over, but it's really not that amazing. It just really isn't. You know, like the hash rate of equahash for a 1080 Ti, you know, something like, let's just call it 700, you know, and the hash rate for, you know, a 2080 Ti is like 900. So it's really not that amazing. They're not amazing at all, especially for hashing. For their price, they're terrible. I just feel like they just took a bunch of these old chips and they're like, yeah, let's throw together a 20 series for now and then come out with a better graphics card later, because the 20 series is quite frankly a joke. Of course, I would love to have one, especially for gaming, you know, get a few extra frames per second, but still not that much better than a 1080 Ti. The only problem with the 1080 Ti's in terms of gaming was 4K gaming. They weren't that great at it. No card is really great at 4K gaming. Sure, you might be able to display your games in 4K, but some really, really high-end ultra graphics games don't run so well at ultra graphics in 4K. They're just not really that great. So hopefully the 2080 Ti series is a little bit better at that. But overall, I feel like these graphics cards are just, you know, complaining. So old mining rigs are sold for scrap in China. So financial media outlets, for example, reported on Tuesday that some small and medium-sized operations in the country's Xinjiang and Inner Mongolia regions have been reluctant to resell their mining machines because they used to go for $2,880 a year ago, and now they're just about $145 today. So there was a lot of FUD, and there was a lot of photos showing people throwing out a ton of miners being sold by the kilo, and nobody knows if those are real or not. So some people are saying that those were FUD, that those were fake news, that those were all pictures from the flood that occurred several months ago, and they were just sort of reusing those pictures or different pictures from that event. And some people are saying that a lot of people are throwing out their miners and selling them for scrap, which I don't really believe so much. However, I do want to say that nobody is making profit right now in mining. Now, GPU mining, you might say to yourself, hey, MrSotko, I'm making a little bit of profit mining. I'm mining Raven coin, or I'm going on what to mine and mining the top coin and making daily profit. Sure, a little bit, maybe, at best. But the Bitcoin mining is a thing still, and Bitcoin mining needs to continue transactions, as that's what the miners essentially do. They're mining new coins, mining new blocks in which transactions are fitting in those, and then moving on down the line. So without those miners, transactions will slow down. And not that transaction rate is too high right now, because nobody's really using Bitcoin at the moment. But let me just show you, just on Crypto Compare here, a mining calculator. Okay, so this is just a regular mining calculator. I didn't do a lot in this. We're not really going to get too in detail with the wattage, but I put 30 terahash in here. Now, 30 terahash is not much at all. As you can see, the power consumption. Let's just reload this because I feel like that's a little messed up. The power consumption minus $26 a day. So you're mining about this much Bitcoin, and the power cost is incredibly high. So $1 per kilowatt. No, that's false. There we go. There we go. I was just wondering, like, what? Because I know that this mined per day is correct, but not the profits. Anyway, we switched this up. So average in the U.S., in the United States anyway, most people with big mining operations are not spending money on average electricity. It's much lower than this. But there's a lot of miners out there that are 30 terahash and higher now. The S9s were 14.5 terahash, and, you know, you could get them a little bit faster, but not too much. So let's go with 30 terahash. So that's about $1.16 a day. Your profit, you know, your power cost is about $3.72, and even if you brought this down pretty low to just like 3 cents a kilowatt, you're making about $4 a day on a 30 terahash machine, which at the power consumption of that is not the correct power consumption. If you had the 30 terahash machine, it's probably more like at least 1500, 1700, maybe even higher. But let's go with 14.5, and the power consumption of a S9 is about 1400 watts. And there you go. You're only making $1.35 a day, and the power cost is about $1 a day, even at 3 cents per kilowatt, all the way down. So like nobody's making money on miners. They're barely sticking around at these prices. So it's not surprising that a lot of people are going under, or manufacturers are going down. Because sure, if you had hundreds of these, even if you had like hundreds of these a day going, like the S9 miners, there's about a difference. $1.35 per day per each one is just not that amazing. At the end of the day, after you pay all your power cost, you're left with very little profit. So still going strong, but again, that's at 3 cents a kilowatt. That's only 3 cents a kilowatt, and there's a lot of people in this world that are paying 10 cents, 12 cents, or more and trying to run S9 miners, which is just not going to happen. Next article, Bitcoin will be the Amazon of cryptocurrency, says VC Advisor. So speaking recently, the Crypto Oracle partner said that long-term Bitcoin holders reaped massive gains every couple of years. So Kerner's comments have come at a time when Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency prices have taken a significant nosedive, to say the least. So Kerner drew parallels between the current state of virtual currency market and the situation with tech stocks during the internet bubble and subsequent dot-com crash. So according to Kerner, Amazon, one of the largest global conglomerates today, saw its share price plummet massively after the crash. So there was a day in 2013 when we were down 70% overnight. Nobody likes being down like this, but this is what investing in crypto is all about. And I remember looking at the dot-com crash, like some of the prices of some of the like the websites and stock during the dot-com crash, and some of them were $200 a share, $100 a share, and then they all crashed down to like $7 a share, and that includes like Amazon and Yahoo. and now they're worth way, way, way more than that. Although Yahoo's not that amazing, but for some reason it's worth a lot of money. I really think it's overvalued. So, Bitcoin really feels like the dot-com bubble. It really does. A lot of people really aren't old enough to remember that. And when I was about that age during the dot-com bubble, I was pretty young and I wasn't investing in anything, obviously. I mean, I was, who knows, anywhere from, 10 to 16 years old during that time, during the whole dot-com, issue. So of course I wasn't investing into anything, but it really feels similar that a lot of it, like, it just went way, way, way up, all of them. And it's just like this random websites just went through the roof, and then everything crashed horribly, including Amazon, Yahoo, and some of these major, major sites that we have today that you would think, like, wow, it's just incredible how much they're worth. Like, Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world. And, so it's the tech isn't there yet, and there's not a lot of reason to use crypto at the moment for a lot of people, because you might think to yourself, well, I can go down to the store and I can buy some groceries and with my crypto, but you can do the same thing with your debit card, right? So there needs to be a lot more use cases for crypto. There needs to be a lot more hype about crypto. There needs to be something else that comes along that's really going to excite the world with crypto once again. But it does resemble the dot-com crash quite well. So market cap at 142 billion. We've lost a few billion since the other day. Bitcoin Cash down by 10% today. Stellar. A few videos back, I made a little comment that Stellar had taken number 4th place, but now it's back to 5 because Bitcoin Cash had crashed so much that Stellar was actually above it when it was at like 25 cents or something like that. So they're in quite the race. As you can see, Stellar is only about 80,000, actually about $79,000 behind Bitcoin Cash, and Stellar will take number 4. So if Bitcoin Cash crashes any more, even a % more, I would say, Stellar is going to take the top, or the number 4 spot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, Sotko Fest, December 1st. There is a link in the description below. The second to bottom link, I believe, is my Twitch link. Click on that. Follow me on Twitch, because on December 1st through December 9th, I'm going to be live streaming pretty much all day, or at least as much as I can. And that'll be your guys' time to come watch some games, talk about crypto, and, just anything else. All kinds of conversation sparks. So Sotko Fest, December 1st through December 9th. Make sure you hit me up on Twitch, and that'll give you a little cool beans like email or something like that, and you'll be like, hey, MrSotko's online. So I'm going to go live about noon, I think, December 1st, Arizona time, and start streaming. So I hope to see you guys there, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, I will see you guys next time. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I hit the wrong one to stop the video, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Everybody just forget that happened.